So let's select our source table. Now copy the records of source table and paste it here. So look at there are so many duplicates rows in source table. Column DPT number. Now from here, drag source table into mapping and now create one mapping mtrans scope with aggregator. Or take aggregator transformation and select all attributes of source qualifier and drag into aggregator transformation. Now drag target table, select all attributes and drag into target table. Now go to aggregator transformation properties tab. Now port tabs at here or DPT number, there are so many duplicates, those are there. So now make that one in group wise and save the mapping. Mapping is valid. Now according to mapping create one session and set the property at here. Change target load time to normal. Now apply and one more thing, enable truncate target table option and apply OK. Now go to properties tab. So look at there. This is a default property of session. At your date source rows as insert. Commit type target. Commit interval 10,000. Now I start the session. So at here, uh, workflow monitor is not connected. So let's connect. Now I start the session again. So session gets succeeded. So at here in target table, three rows affected. Sorry, three rows applied and affected. So at here commit on end of data. So directly that is commit or data into the target table row tab HR. Total inserted rows or requested 3, applied 3, affected 3. So let's copy that. So look at the session based commit interval is 10,000. So inserted rows requested 3, applied 3, affected 3. Now from here, change commit tab and commit interval. So give a commit tab source and commit interval to 2. Because in source table we don't have 10,000 records. So if we will give the commit interval to, so every 2 records that will do the commit operation. Now save the session and one more thing, in properties of aggregated transformation, add here transformation scope selected all input. Now I start the session. So session gets succeeded. So add here a source based commit find uh, inserted rows requested to. So since we have given uh, commit interval to, so first time that is requested and applied affected rows to. And now after making all input transaction scope, so that does not for transaction boundary. So only 3 records are there. So first 2 records make it pair. After that inserted last one. So requested 3 and applied 3. Total number of records inserted 3. Since we set commit or type source, so that area source based commit point is displayed. Now let's run the target table and copy the target table, paste it here. Now go to aggregator area, change transformation scope, all input to transaction and save the mapping and refresh the so the definition of transaction by using transaction in transformation scope or input rows that fall into transaction boundaries. So refresh the session and start the task. So look at the in row tab. 13 rows are applied affected. So first tab that's load or two records because source based commit interval are set to 2. That's So right here, first two rows of light and after 4, after 5, 7, 9. So copy that output records. A- Add aggregated transformation scope set to transaction. So input data of aggregated transformation falls into transaction boundary. So since at session source commit interval is 2, so aggregated transformation group the data for every two input rows. So first to make the group 2030, so that at your commit interval to 2040, sorry 3020, so make a commit interval for 24. So at your 3030 is there. So that makes into one group. So at your commit interval 5 for 1027, 1030, 9, like 11, 13. So at your log event for session first that is inserted. So first that is inserted two records 4, 5, 7, 9, 13. So right here input or data is in not order wise or not in sorted format. So first I am going to make input data in sorted format. So since add here table array relational, so go to properties and add here uh, increase 0 to 1 number of sorted ports. So that will sort the records of DEPT number. Now refresh the session and start the task. So now this time 8 rows applied into target table. So session source based commit interval is there. So that is inserted first time one record. After 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now at here, select a start from employee order by DPT number. So DPT number is in order by, select MP. Now select all records and copy and paste. So that's applied records into target. So since aggregated transformation falls into transaction boundary, so at session we set commit interval is 2. So aggregated transformation group the data for every two input rows. For source, let's make the data for every data for two input rows. So first that will load one. So 10 10 first group, 10 20 next group, and 20 20 third group, again 20 20 fourth group, 30 30 fifth group, and again 30 30. So at here 10 10 in one group, so that's why this is selecting uh, 7839 king percent 5010 in first row, and after 1020 is not the same DPT number, so this one is for separate Miller and Jones. Miller and Jones. So 1 3 4 5 6 7 8, and in target table 8 rows applied. So first is one group, that's why 1, then after 3, after 2020 DPT numbers same, then that will count 4 5 30 30 same DPT number, 6 and 7 8. So it's all about transformation scope using transaction in aggregated transformation. Now I'm going to use sorter transformation, and at the I will show uh, transformation scope all input and transaction. So first I am deleted aggregated transformation. Now or track sorter transformation. So at sorter for resource qualifier transformation, there is a number of sorted ports selected to 1. So remove 1 to 0. So in sorted transformation, transformation scopes are to all input and transaction. So first I will discuss about all input. So at here specify direction of any port. So I am going to specify the direction of DPT number as ascending and apply OK. Select all attributes, drag into target, save the mapping valid, refresh session and start the task. Now get session log. So source based commit interval set to 2 and commit type source. That's why first time that's load 2 records after 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rows are committed. First two of commit after 4, after 6, like that. So all input transformation scope, if you set all input, so that does not fall into transaction boundary. So that will commit 2 by 2. So this is a sorted records of AMP. So in sorted transformation, um, these records are sorted. So DPT number sorted 10, 10, 10, 20 after 30. So first time that's select two groups 10, 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 like that. So at here one thing uh, aggregator transformation makes every two records in group wise but sorted not. Sorted transformation not. Now in target table, that's records are loaded. Same records are there, but only at that's load 2 by 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Because commit interval set to 2. Now in sorted transformation, change transformation scope, all input to transaction, and valid set the mapping, refresh the session, start the task. So at here also 4 rows, 40 rows applied for target. Now the difference is at here if you say transformation scope transaction, then that will falls into transaction transaction boundary. So at your source based commit, so inserted records to applied affected. Now after that is end of output for sorter, process to rows, and end of input of transformation sorter. But that things that messages are not in, uh, not if you used all input. So again that will start source based commit or target HR, so inserted rows of requested for. After that, then again that will end of output from sorter or transformation. So if that will load the two records, after that end of transaction for sorter transformation, after that that will load two more records, then or four. After that that will load two records, two, four, six like that. Hi guys, in this video I will discuss about target based commit interval. So the first point, server continue data based on number of target rows and key constant on target table. The commit point depends on buffer block size and commit interval. Second point, during a session, the server persists to fill the writer buffer. After it reaches the commit interval, when buffer block full, the Informatica server issues commit command. As a result, the amount of data committed at commit point when it exceeds commit interval. Now let's drag source tables into mapping, sorry, source file. And now select one active transformation. Sorter is one active transformation and select all attributes of source qualifier and or drag into sorter transformation. So at here give direction ascending to field 6. Now select all attributes of sorter and drag into target table. And according to mapping create one session. So mapping name m trans scope agree. Now in mapping row table is in HR schema. Change number to bulk and now click on link task as save the session, start the task of session. Now at your workflow monitor is not connected, so we have to connect. Now I start the task again. So session gate failed. Let's check. Log event of session press A. So at your error opening file, see colon Informatica 9 source file operating system. Okay, file path does not set. So let's set the file path. So my file is in C drive. So at your specify C drive. Now press OK and save the session. Start task again. So session succeeded. Now in source, uh, we have 4000 records, and in target 4000 rows are applied. So let's see get session log event for session. Right here maximum sequence and buffer length is 1026. So at target table, writer directly inserted 4000 records there. So at session properties, that's all default properties there. So commit tab selected target and treat source rows as insert. So in source table we don't have 10,000 records. So now I'm going to give 1000 records. Now save the session and start task. So this time also 4000 rows applied to target. So session target based commit interval 1000 there. So since we have a commit interval 10,000, sorry 1000, but first times that's inserted record 1056. So the definition is during a session run, the server persists to fill the writer buffer. First, that will fill the writer buffer after it reaches the commit interval. So commit interval 1000, then buffer block full. the Informatica server issue commit command. So that will issue a commit command. The Informatica server issue commit command. As a result, the amount of data committed at commit point it exceed commit interval. So commit interval is 10,000, sorry 1,000, and first time that's the load 1056 records into the target table. So that's all about target based commit. Hey guys, in this vid I will discuss about user defined commit. So the definition is the integration service commits data based on a transaction defined in the mapping property. Or we can also configure commit and rollback option in session property. So let's see the records in source definition. So at debit number, there are so many duplicates rows are there. So at in this mapping, I'm using one sorter active transformation. So let's validate mapping is valid. Now go to workflow manager at session properties. That's all default properties there. Target and I set commit interval to by default the commit interval 10,000. Now I'm going to change commit tab target to source. Save the session and start the session. So session gets succeeded. So see the log event for session. So look at their source based commit point. First time so that's loaded to because commit interval I set to next time 246. So source based commit. Now I'm changing to user defined commit tag user defined. So if I press OK, then I got workflow manager message. A user defined commit tag cannot be chosen if there are no effective transaction control transformation in the mapping. So if transaction control transformation in the mapping, after we can select user defined commit tab. Without transaction control transformation, we can't do. So let's press OK here. So now it's selected commit tab. I can't change. Now go to mapping designer. Add your add one transaction control transformation. Now select all attributes and drag into transaction control and establish the link between TCT and target table. Save the mapping. Mapping is valid. Now refresh the session and save the session. Double click into the session and go to properties tab. So look at the treat source rows data driven, and commit tab changed automatically to user defined. So if in mapping there is at least one transaction control transformation, then commit type automatically change to user defined. Now if you start the task, select your commit at end of load auto group of 40 rows inserted into target and applied. That's because add transaction properties at here TC continue transaction attribute set value set at the if you if TC continue transaction set at there, so it means it follows transaction boundaries created by earlier active transformation. So whatever early active transformation, so that in the mapping I used active transformation sorter. So that so that active transformation that follows. If you say now, if you change TC continue transaction to TC continue or TC commit before. So if you use TC commit before, it means it follows transaction boundary created by TC, means transaction controls transformation. Now set the mapping and refresh the session. So commit type user defined. Add your number of rows to test 1. So session commit interval or user defined. Because I said to TC commit type commit sorry because I said TC commit before add TC transaction control transformation. So it means it follows transaction boundaries created by TC so that at your user defined commit points are happening. Or no, first time that's load 2, 4, after 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, it starts from 1 because number of states to 1. 1, 2, 3. So if you are just add one aggregator transformation. Now select all attributes and drag into aggregator. So group by make into DBT number and transaction scope change to transaction. Now save the mapping and refresh the session. So at your user or defined commit point. So at this time, transaction control transformation created a transaction boundaries for every or single records and aggregator transformation simply follow that are transaction boundaries. So aggregator is one active transformation and because in transaction control transformation I said or TC commit before, so it follows transaction boundary created by TC. So that at your first time that's a user defined commit point happening, that's load one records into target. After that, deleting cache, that deleting index cache and data cache. After aggregator partition index cache and data cache, and again creating a new index cache, and again its aggregator create data cache and index cache. After that's load a second records. So user commit points, user defined or defined commit points are happening because at there I use transaction control transformation and commit TC commit before property. So after creating every after loading each and every code, so that's delete the cache file of aggregator and again that will create new index file, new index data and cache files for every each and every one records. Now this time I'm going to change at your TC commit before to TC continue transaction. So if you change, then it follows transaction boundaries created by prior active transformation. So active transformation now this time aggregator. So transaction boundary follow active transformation aggregator. So at here user defined commit interval does not come into picture. So the active aggregator is set to one active transformation with group by. So at here directly that's load inserted the three records into target table. So the first now I'm going to repeat once time more. So if you use the TC continue transaction, so it means it follows transaction boundaries created by earlier active transformation or next active transformation. So transaction control transformation, next active transformation is aggregator transformation. So transaction boundaries created follow. So at here follow the transaction boundaries created by aggregator transformation. And TC commit before it means it follows transaction boundaries created by transaction control transformation. So it's all about user defined commit. So now it's done at here. So thanks for watching. See you in next video.